Hey everybody, it's Emily with Frick and Frack Paranormal. I'm your host tonight on our Facebook Live. I'm going to bring in my co-host here. Actually, I'm going to bring him in right now because I told him he wasn't going to be in the lobby very long. But my co-host tonight is David.
Hi, Emily.
Hey, I want to tell you all something about David right now. I'm getting ready to go visit him. What, 10 days?
Like 9 days.
9 days.
Hours, who knows?
And I am scared of flying. And mostly the landing, not the takeoff. It's going to make me really, really nervous. But guess what he did today? He sends me a picture of the news about a plane crash outside of Miami-Dade, Florida.
Like a little Cessna.
Oh, it scared me.
I didn't put two and two together.
What did you do to me? You know, give me a nervous. I'm going to have a Valium.
I got to say a story really fast. My grandmother hated airplanes, and she used to have dreams that she was crashing in an airplane all the time. She died a year before I was born, whatever, I'm not going to say. But whatever, she was so afraid. She has to get on an airplane one day to meet my grandfather and my mother. And she would always take a bus, like take the long route. But she gets on this airplane. It almost crashes. She almost died. Seriously, almost crashed. So she, she foresaw what was bad. I'm not saying that's happening to you, though.
Well, I hope not. But I was born on Friday 13th. I'm going to have to do a lot of prayer before I get on that daggone airplane. But, yeah, I'm going to be super nervous. I don't know what it is. The older I get, the more nervous I am to be on the plane. I have dreams of planes, but I'm always on the tail end, like on the very back of the plane, like, and everybody's up front, and I'm so far away from people, nobody can hear me.
In the middle is the best place to sit by the wings, I think, like in the front of the wing.
Well, we're not going to talk about that anymore. That's going to make me, I'm going to be nervous wreck. I'm going to kiss the ground as soon as I land. But tonight we have a special guest this evening that is part of David's group. David founded Prism, 15 years ago?
Yeah, end of 2003, beginning 2004 in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, well, we have an amazing director with us this evening. Her name is Nichole Crockett. She has been investigating for 13 years, was part of Prism Midwest. Then she moved in, I think, 2015 to Colorado and started her own team called Prism Colorado there. They've investigated a lot of places. Nichole also has a gift of being a sensitive, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. They've investigated, several places. We're going to talk about the opera house that they did. I made a list because they've investigated so many.
Yeah, lots of events too.
Oh yeah, they're going to have events. We'll get into that too. But Dickens Opera House is one. Now, I finally found out the right way to say this place because we're going to talk about this place a little bit because it showed up so much on my Facebook. But Farrar Elementary School. I was calling it Farrar.
Farrar. It's Farrar.
It's Farrar.
Farrar. How you say it? Say it again.
Farrar.
Farrar. It like Farrar, I think.
It's Farrar. Nichole. We'll bring Nichole in here in a second. And we're also going to talk about the Dunning Benedict House because I saw this picture of it, and we'll put it up here in a minute too about this location. And also what's cool about Nichole's team is that they do this monthly, it's free, it's a monthly meetup, Prism Colorado meetup group where they educate the public about paranormal investigating, the equipment and things to use, and try to, get more people opened up out in Colorado about the paranormal. So I'm going to bring Nichole on right now and introduce her to everybody. Hello, Nichole.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, and hold on, I want to switch this around. There we go.
Hey, Emily, so I don't forget, I want to talk about Velisca for a little bit too at the end.
Okay.
She's been there, and I've been there. I love that place.
I've never been.
You've been there, right?
I have been to Velisca like 9 times.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Come on.
I don't know if I can do Velisca.
You'll be there. You'll be there.
So I don't know.
You'll love it. It's awesome.
I'll cry the whole entire time.
Probably, yeah.
over children. I can't do anything that involves kids. I'm super sensitive with kids. It breaks my heart. But I don't know if I can. Definitely, I don't think I could be there by myself or with somebody else. I know I can't be there by myself.
That's a hard house to be by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you been in there by yourself, Nichole?
Not by myself, but there's been rooms that I've kind of walked in and out by myself, and it's a tearjerker for sure. There's a lot of energy in that house, and then afterwards the EVPs, we've captured EVPs from there that are actually children, and it's very sad. A lot of energy.
A lot of time alone in that house. Let me tell you, it's one of those houses that calls you back. You'll dream about that house.
Absolutely.
Literally, I have dreams about that house. You know what I mean? It will call you back, that house. It's like one of those super, super haunted houses, whether people see it or not when they get there.
So,
yeah.
Since you're sensitive, Nichole, when you were at Villisca, did you see anything, or do you mainly like feel, or how are you classified as sensitive? Like, do you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, absolutely. I have a couple different ranges. I mean, I see things intuitively a lot, and I get a lot of feelings. But usually I kind of go through the scenario that what might have happened at the location. The very first time that I was at Villisca, I sat down in the blue room on the first floor and just cried. Like I didn't know what else to do. It was just so overwhelming. And
that room will drive you crazy, though. I mean, Dan from our team, like a long time ago, went crazy in that room. I actually had to have people drag him out of there. He went like, I was watching him on camera from the barn. He went nuts in that room. Literally, we had to take him out of that room. You can't be by yourself in that room. That's where one of the girls got raped.
Nichole, you were in the room by yourself and you started crying?
Yeah, we were just setting up. We hadn't even started the investigation. We were setting up, and I just got this overwhelming feeling of a small girl or a female in that closet right at the end of the bed in the blue room. And I just sat in there and just cried. And I was just like, I couldn't move. I didn't know what else to do. And one of the teammates at the time came in, and he was like, all right, let's go. We got to get out of here. And so that room has always been a big hotspot for me. The other place is right at the top of the stairs. There was one night we were up there and we were waiting for that 2 a.m. train, and it sounded like footsteps just coming up the stairs. And it was, we were just waiting for someone to be at the top, and no one came up. And it's a very intense house everywhere. You go out to the safe space in the barn area, and you just want to go back inside. Like you don't want to stay away from it. It's a very, very intense place.
We have a special person watching right now that's left a comment. Says, I'm Nicole's mom. Very young.
Don't embarrass me, Mom.
Come on, Mom. Tell us some secrets.
Oh boy.
So, I don't know if I could be there at all, let alone by myself. So I don't know. Maybe one day.
You have to experience it once. It's a sad feeling, but it's also a gratifying feeling going there and just kind of trying to make contact. And I think there's so much residual energy left over there now as well. People coming in and out, staying, how many ever nights per year all these groups come in. There's just so much stuff. You have to experience it. You have to go.
Well, you have a similar situation here that happened in Kentucky, my hometown, in the late 1800s. We call it the Ashland Massacre, where 3 kids were chopped. Actually, they try to link it to Villisca, I think, or something.
That's awesome.
They were chopped up with axes.
Not subtle about it.
And they said they came back saying, but they found the guys and hung them. And the tree that they hung them on is still down here in Ashland. It's still standing. It's in someone's property now. But the house burnt down. They caught the house on fire and it burnt down. So, we have the Ashland Massacre. But
let me tell you, that blue room there was where they found a piece of ham there that the guy had like masturbated with.
Ooh.
He raped her and stuff. Like that room is so intense. And they keep like some dresses in the closet, like that's open. It like starts messing with your mind. And
hold on, what are you talking about the ham? When the guy axed these kids up?
And literally, I've smelled it in that room before. You could smell bacon. I've smelled bacon in that room. I don't know, maybe because I'm a little psychic or whatnot, but I have smelled bacon in that room. I
don't understand the ham part because I never heard about the ham.
They say he was using the the grease of the stuff to lube himself. Is basically what was going on. Sorry if I did any hand gestures there. Didn't mean to. Anyway, he was using the ham to, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's
a horror story all around.
He was killing her and masturbating. But I think he did penetrate her at some point.
The axe murderer.
So there was kids there, the family, the father, the mother, the 3 kids, and then they had 2 girls over from church. The neighbors, Lena and Ina. So they were over there, and Lena was downstairs. The older one, I think she was 12, maybe. She's one of the older girls out of the 2. It was like her and the older child. They were the 2 older ones, and she's the one that got. I think she's probably that happened in the beginning, or who knows? I mean, nobody even knows how that thing could go down. That house is really quiet, and without electricity, I don't know how people really did anything. I'm sure the train had a lot to do with it, because there had been some noise, or the. I mean, what they do know is that the dad got killed immediately with the axe in the beginning. So then one or two people could kind of like control the whole house. But anyway. Nichole, I could talk about this all night. I'm going to stay away from it.
If you go back, there's one thing that I tried out. I had this overwhelming urge to uncover all the mirrors, because most of the mirrors are covered with a sheet, because I think that's what the killer did. And I had this.
That's how they found the house afterwards.
Right.
Hold on. Sorry, I want to hear this about the mirrors.
One of the last times I was there, I had this overwhelming urge just to uncover the mirrors, and I did, and it was like an instant. I was so mad, and like the whole environment changed. The whole house seemed angry.
The murderer didn't want to see himself then, probably, right?
Yeah.
That house is an on and off type of thing. It's like you could go in and you're like, this house isn't haunted at all, and then all of a sudden you're there by yourself, and it turns on in a second.
Yeah.
Well, also, mirrors are used to as portals too, and the people can think that you can see things through those, or see spirits, or that spirits go in and out of these mirrors.
Listen, that house right now is right next to the power for all of Villisca. It's like right across the street. It has to be doing something to it. It
Absolutely.
has to be waking that house up. You know what I mean? And then you have you've got Johnny next door, and he does paranormal stuff too. I'm sure that house is awake. I was one of the first people in that house with Kelly and with Art was maybe one of the first 4 teams in that house, and probably one of the first 3 teams in that house. I can tell you, at the beginning, it was way more haunted than as it got weirder later, because people started bringing Ouija boards and doing crazy stuff. But that house is so haunted.
Nichole, is this your sister? Is it Caitlin?
Yeah. Hey, Katie.
Yeah, Caitlin. It says, don't know about others, but the attic space was the most intense for her, was up in the attic. Now, that's where they said the guy was, right? Nichole, that's where they said that the guy stayed, right? Was in the attic?
Where they were hiding to kill.
Yeah. And the children hid in the closet upstairs.
Okay. All right. So the children hid in the closet. So they had to have known that something was going on downstairs. Is that where she got raped and stuff downstairs then?
Yeah, in the blue room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if the kids heard her rape and then got scared and stayed upstairs.
Yeah, we had captured the Nebraska team. One night we were there, we had captured some EVPs from that room upstairs in the closet of children saying, "Mommy, he's coming." And I believe those are on the Prism website. And just crazy. It's just gut wrenching. You listen to those, and it has to be left over from those original children that were there. It's crazy.
I mean, just imagine, are these children going through these same things over and over again too?
What I can tell you,
I'm going to tear up right now. I can't tolerate that.
I know you hate me talking too much, but listen, I'm gonna say one thing. Kelly's the director of the Minnesota team. When I left Minnesota and I came down to Miami, I was going through a divorce, came down to Miami, started the Miami team or South Florida team. And I put Carl in charge. Kelly is Carl's daughter. Carl he had cancer. He died. Kelly took over, is doing an awesome job there. But we've been going there forever and ever. And one day I went there. I was really good friends with the owners of that house, Martha and Darwin died. But before Darwin died, they threw a birthday party for me over there, a going away going when I had a birthday party? I don't know. I've had 2 things there. Anyway, all the time over there. And they built that barn. I had a birthday party over there. And I go into the house at some point because I love to just go in there alone and kind of feel it. It was in the afternoon. You know, nothing's going on. Lights in there. There was no power at that time. There were no air conditioners. And I didn't know that Kelly and her husband Bo were in the upstairs room where the kids were, were like killed. I walk there and I see a ball literally fly across the room and hit the wall. And I'm like, what? And then like I look over and I see like Bo and I see Larry and I see them right there, like just going like this. Like Kelly, they was like, you guys saw that too, right? I'm like, did that ball just like launch across the room? Like, yes, it did. That room, I mean, at that time, that door could go on command. You could be like, Paul, open the door, and then we just go, you go, boo, and it go back and smack closed. I mean, Troy Taylor saw that with us. That place is so haunted. I don't know what it became now. It's like a different type of thing, but the house is so haunted.
So, Nichole, you all got EVPs from Villisca, and it's on your website, right?
So my team is actually the Prism Colorado team is going back to Villisca. A lot of my members for the first time this fall. The EVPs that we captured or that I captured are actually on the ducdeadpeople.org website from the Nebraska team.
Oh, okay.
So I've been back to Villisca in like 3 years, so it'll be fun for me. I decided to go on a little hiatus and see, and so we're going this year in the fall.
Awesome. I wish I could go. I don't know.
We're gonna go because I haven't been there in like 5-6 years, and we're definitely going.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get back and see how it feels and see if it still feels the same or if it's switched up a little bit.
How far away is that from Denver?
We're about 8-9 hours.
Okay, that's an all-day trip then.
Yeah,
so
we're
gonna stay all night in that place by yourself. Do you put up cots, or what are you gonna do?
We'll probably try and a lot of energy drinks and stay up. We don't want to miss anything.
There's like a little barn that that Darwin built off to the side so that people could do kind of like put all their equipment there and kind of run it into the house. But you can't really sleep there. The only person I know that's ever stayed there alone was Dan Christensen, who was like one of my first people in Prism, and he stayed there by himself. But let me tell you, stuff that happened to him there while he was by himself. I can't even. I mean, I've been there with like 2 or 3 people, and you can't sleep there. There's just no way you can sleep. I don't know how people could.
So, Nichole, since we talked a little bit there for a moment about you being sensitive, and your mom made a comment that you've done this your whole life. When was the first time that you realized that you had a gift like that?
I remember growing up, I had seen things, and I had kind of what was called imaginary friends for a long time, and it got stronger and stronger for me as I got older. And it was weird. I had, I don't know, maybe it's just because of puberty or who knows what, but it shut off for me for like 3 or 4 years. And then when I was around 15 or 16, it came back really strong. And I just had, we had started living in some houses that had activity. And I remember vividly one day, my room was upstairs and our office chair just flew across the room for no reason. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of weird. And then I just started getting interactions. Things would come to me in my sleep, or I'd be out and I would start seeing things intuitively, or I'd be around people and I would, see people with them or feel people with them. And then I started doing readings for the public for free. And it really kind of helped me to grow. And I've done over 500 public readings.
Wow.
And
does it drain you after you do reading?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Does it drain you, like when you do readings off people and things?
Yeah, I haven't been doing them the last couple of years just because just been busy with other things, and I've really been focusing, on the team and the research side of things. And I also do like energy healing. I do a lot of Reiki, and I'm currently going to school for hypnotherapy. So I'm trying to kind of roll everything on.
Yes, I want to do that. I want to see if it really works. Yeah,
I want to specialize in regression therapy, help people who might be struggling with past life things or, anything of that kind of realm. I really want to toss it that way and grow and evolve in that.
How about anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. We can work on your flight scare.
Okay, yes, let's see if it works. Before I get on that plane.
It's always been natural. I've just wanted to help people. That's been the biggest thing. And the same thing with paranormal research. You know, when it comes to the Colorado team, yes, I'm all about documenting and researching, but I want to help people. Genuinely, if I can help people who don't understand what paranormal research is, and and then connect with the spirits on the other side and help them as well. That's my goal. That's what I want with Prism Colorado for sure.
I think that should be everybody's goal too. That does this. We find a lot of people do this for self reasons. Like all about themselves, but no one like not reaching out to help people, or they'll go to a location, film, and get what they want, but never follow up with the people that they're supposed to be helping with.
Right.
So I want to go to the comment section because we have several people on here saying hello. Tim, that's from Prism Miami. Hey guys.
Ooh. Hey Tim.
Hey, Tim. And hold on here, I gotta scroll up some. Greg
at Davy School.
Greg, he comes on a lot on the Facebook Live. He's a faithful watcher. So hey Greg.
Hey Greg.
He said hi to you too, David. I can't find that there. Oh, here's Kim. This is freaking frack in Northern Ohio. So that's Kim. She's a director up there. We have Janessa. Do you know? Hey, Nichole.
Janessa is one of my teammates.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I think we have somebody else in here that's one of your teammates. Hold on. Let me see here. I thought I saw something.
Where's the Prism Colorado peeps at?
Hold on here. I don't know who. It says Kevin. Hey, guys.
Yes, Kevin. Kevin's my peeps.
Okay. And oh, here's mom again. I gotta put mom's comments every time mom. Every time mom makes a comment.
We should just let mom tell my story.
She can sign on. I can put the link in the comments. Come on. She's always been very mature. Her dad and I noticed when she was about 4. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that's so sweet. And Tim says Davy School can't wait. They're doing
tomorrow.
So speaking of school, that's what we're going to go into first. I'm going to put this picture up here. Farrar.
How do you say Farrar?
Farrar.
So Farrar.
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 It's an interesting name.
I'm Kentucky, y'all. Come on. Farrar. I'm going to Farrar school.
You're Southern. It's hard to say.
School. We call it school around here. Like creek. We go down to the creek, and we go to high school.
You're like Farrar. There's like no Southerners named Farrar anyway. That's like such a Northeastern name. You'll never. Don't worry about it.
Well, anyway, I got excited that I got onto your website and saw that you've investigated this place because I've seen a lot of this in my news feed about this location because they're getting ready to have a kind of like a convention expo thing there called ConjureCon or something, and I've seen some evidence from there. What made you all want to go investigate this location?
Farrar's pretty cool. I've been there actually 3 or 4 times. First time with the Prism Nebraska team. And I think what I was really drawn to Farrar is, it was bought by a couple who really just didn't want the building to get torn down. It's an old elementary school, and they bought it with the intentions of remodeling it and living in it. And then it turned out it was just super haunted. And there's really not any huge history as to anything brutal that's happened or anything crazy to make this place as haunted as it is. But it seems like there has been a lot of
children.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if the graveyard, isn't there a graveyard across the street, has anything to do with that?
There is, and it's an older graveyard, but it's pretty small. I think there's like maybe 50, 60 graves there. There's not a whole big range of graves, and it's just a really weird town in general. It's tiny. There's not a lot of people. But it's a really, really cool location, and it's huge.
Well, I found out, like, when it was in its prime, that the Harlem Globetrotters used to come there and perform.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, I was excited to see that. I love basketball, but to see that they went out to this Farrar school and and did a show for those kids out there. That was pretty cool for them to do, because in this kind of really small town, or
yeah, it's tiny. I mean, I don't know the exact population, but I think it's like under 1,000.
I think at one time it was only like population 30.
Yeah.
They probably had more people on the Harlem Globetrotters team and with coaches and all that than they had in the whole town.
Yeah, probably.
I thought that was cool.
Nichole, is it haunted by like teachers or kids? Like, what's haunted that place?
Everything that we have captured from there has been children. Now, when you go there, if you're sensitive, you can feel a lot of adult energy there. But there is a spirit there that they think is the principal. And he stands at the top of the stairs, and there's some evidence floating around out there of a shadow figure of a man standing in that doorway of the president's office, or of the president's office doorway hall. It's kind of a big conglomeration of stuff that in that long hall, but it's awesome. And as far as I know, a lot of it's all original to when it was operational. So you can open up the lockers and there's schoolwork sitting in there. And
wow.
All the desks are super old, so I'm sure that has a lot of energy with it as well.
So the people that bought this location now, did they make them an apartment or anything with that, or?
They have a little section of the building that they stay in, and it's pretty cool because they're staying really true, to the teams that come in, and they have it, like double insulated, and they stay in there. You can't hear them at all night, and they give you a really great tour, tell you everything that they know about the place. So it's a really really informational tour as well. So
when did the school close? Like, was it in the 90s or?
No, yeah, it was in 2002.
Oh, really? That like Davy, I think, closed in the 90s.
Yeah,
like
hold on.
90s,
I made notes. I made
2000s.
notes here, y'all, because sometimes I do homework when I do this.
Actually, kind of like the Davy school that we're doing tomorrow is kind of very close to it's very close to Farrar. I mean, we've got the whole. It's the first schoolhouse in all of Broward. It was built in the middle of water in the Everglades. It was like you had to go there like in a swamp.
My notes here says that school opened in 1922 and closed its doors in 2002. Local folklore say that you should not drive by and look at the third floor at night. So
Do it.
Didn't tell me what they would see on the third floor, but just you shouldn't drive by and look at the third floor at night.
So the third floor, there's an auditorium on the third floor, and it's got like a big stage and everything. It's a big, huge open space.
That's weird to have an auditorium on the third floor. Do you think that's weird?
No, there's an auditorium in the Davy School as well. I mean, because they have to have presentations and stuff going on.
No, on the third floor, David, on the third floor.
Well, there is actually on the Davy School. There is the third. Is it it's 2 or 3 floors, but the top floor is all an auditorium where we do the presentation, and then we all go around the school afterwards. For some reason, on the third floor, but it's like a square building. I don't. It might be the same.
Auditoriums I've ever been in.
Davy was built early 1900s, late 1800s, so it's like the same type of building, like a big square kind of auditorium. Then off to the side, I think it's the same type of thing. It's where they fit like maybe 150 kids or something. 100 kids. I don't know.
So this place, I mean, you've got to have a whole slew of equipment and really, really a lot of wires because it's a lot to cover.
Wow,
but it's
cool.
Wires. What are you using?
Let me show.
What year is this? What wires are you using? TV loves the wires, but you shouldn't be using wires.
They also said that there's a girl named Alice that's been picked up by several teams throughout the years and things, that they've gotten a lot of EVPs and actually think that they captured her on camera and stuff. Did you all know about Alice when you went, or?
I knew about Alice. However, we didn't have any contact with Alice that we know of or that we captured. It's one of those locations where you walk in and it's huge. You're kind of overwhelmed, and there's a lot of activity, and then it just kind of dies out, and you really have to work for it at first. But it seems like the later in the night, it's interesting. Later in the night, it just gets active out of nowhere, and it's a fun location. And every time that I've been there, it's something different. We experiencing different things. I know one of the big things that we experienced, there's a lot of restrooms that you wouldn't even necessarily know were there unless you're looking for them because the doors are flush with the wall. And
wow.
It's really cool. And so you walk into these restrooms, and then you can just hear people walking outside of the room, out in the hallways. And we were
nobody's there.
Yeah, we were testing stuff like leaving doors a little bit open or closed, trying to get them to move, and we'd come back and locker doors would be open, stuff like that. So there's definitely some stuff going on.
This is, I'm assuming you say his name, Job Martinez? Yep. Okay. The place was amazing while we were there. Is he part of your team too?
He is, yes.
Well, shoot, I haven't ever seen anybody with the name Job. Do they call him Bob a lot?
We call it Job.
Job.
And I think Job. He secretly likes it.
He needs a job. He says the basement and the gym is where we had the most activity. Gyms are haunted. I had, my high school was haunted, and I had 2 major experiences there, and it was in the gym.
Is it like intelligent, or is it like is it like in the walls there? What's going on with like gyms and bathrooms? Bathrooms are super haunted. Been in so many bathrooms. Just like Harry Potter says, where's the ghost gonna be? Right in the bathroom. Like why?
Yeah, right.
People are pooping there with and peeing. Why are they gonna stay in the bathroom? Are they hiding? Like, what are they doing there?
I don't want to be known for being the bathroom ghost at all.
Oh my God! Can you imagine we all end up in bathroom ghost?
That'd be awful.
Teacher, I don't want to be a bathroom.
That would be a really shitty ghost.
Oh,
you went there.
Sorry. See?
Are they all like peeping toms? Even worse.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But seriously, why? Like, why would there be so many ghosts?
Ghosts in the bathroom doesn't bother me.
Or like a gym.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
in the gym, there's a lot of intense stuff that goes on.
Nichole owns a gym, but still.
Yeah.
Is your gym haunted, Nichole?
It's funny that you say that, because when we first were moving in, we first started, we didn't have a whole lot of members. And I had one of our members come up to me one night. We're open 24/7 for our members. So they get a key card, then come whenever they want. And I had a member walk up, and he was, he's a big burly dude. He lifts, and he's like, "Hey, is your gym haunted?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, I was in here one night, and I was lifting, and I saw a girl walk in, and she went to the bathroom." And he's like, "I waited, no big deal, whatever." He was the only one in there. And he said that he waited and waited, and she never came out. And so he peeked his head in just to make sure if something was wrong. And there was no one there. So we've had a couple people say that they've seen a female in the gym, but I don't know. I haven't shut it down and did a full-blown investigation, see if we can find anything yet. But
so if ghosts have to pee, the best thing to do is just put all the equipment right outside of the bathroom to make sure, and kind of put up some prop drinks, with some REM pods around it.
Bathroom project, all of us. Everybody goes to the bathroom.
Many bathroom ghosts though. Linda's bar we just did. They're all in the bathrooms. Why? All 3 bathrooms. They're in the bathrooms. A little bit outside the bar when it closes. In the Deering Estate bathrooms. You get also at the what's that other bathroom? It's all bathrooms, but why? Why would they be in the bathrooms? Oh, Univision. We went to Univision to do something there, and there's a woman that would see a ghost. A tall woman, blonde woman, walking in the bathroom, and she was trying to clean, so she kind of back up, let the woman come in, and she never comes out. She goes in there, gets freaked out. She tried 3 times. Like, how does that happen? Why do the ghosts go to the bathroom? So crazy.
I don't know. Not my preferred location.
So many questions.
And when it comes to investigating, it's one of those things where if it's the only bathroom, it's really hard to put an audio recorder in there, because you're like, well, do the team peeing all night? Like, I don't know.
we actually put a REM pod when we did Univision. We put a REM pod on the toilet paper thing, and it went off. We had one on every stall.
We're talking about the tank.
They went off, and then the connect went off. You could see a thing going blah, 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 like they do, thing coming out of the bathroom. So crazy.
Maybe you still use the bathroom in the afterlife,
or they think they have to.
Maybe. Or if it's
a dream over and over again when you die. That's awful.
I guess some people kind of go to the bathroom for emotional comfort, to get away from things and to kind of, something like that. So maybe they're reenacting that was their safe space or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, or it's dark or.
Yeah. They want to get away.
I've gone to the bathroom. God. Leave me alone. I'm in the bathroom.
Right? There you go. That's what my mom used to do. She's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Leave me alone.
What do you think about the Stanley Hotel? This is Emily's favorite place in the whole wide world.
We're going to talk about the Stanley.
I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it.
I want to hear a little bit more about some other things before we talk. I got my shirt on, the Overlook Hotel for tonight. But I want to wait to the end because I want to talk about this other place. Let's see. Let me bring this up real fast. The Dunning, what was it? The Dunning Benedict
Mansion.
Yeah, this place. And the reason why this strikes my fancy is because of how it's built, and we have quite a bit of the buildings similar to that in Kentucky, mostly in Louisville and Lexington area, and then we have one similar to that here in my hometown also. So that's in an area. Is that the historical district of Denver? Okay. Yep. And they call that, what was her name that was on Titanic? The Molly Brown?
Yes.
With the big jewel?
Huh? Yes. So the Dunning Benedict Mansion, it's really cool. It's a very iconic downtown Denver historic location. It was built in the late 1800s, and it was actually lived in by the city attorney of Denver. And it was built by a really famous architect who built a lot of those style houses downtown Denver in the historic area. His name was William Lang. Mm-hmm. As far as like haunting goes for stuff that's happened, there's been a ton of deaths just in, the early 1900s, natural deaths and stuff like that. Yeah. In that area. It's also really close to Cheeseman Park, which is a very big known haunt in the downtown Denver area. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically it was a cemetery, a graveyard at one time, and there was over 2,000 bodies buried there. And wow. The governor was like, we're going to make this a park, and basically dug everything up and relocated these bodies. Nice. And it's like it's a really, really nice, like high-end park now, but it's extremely haunted. So this house is not very far away from that, and so there's just a lot of residual activity there. It's an apartment complex now, and Prism got turned on to this location because we host and partner with Denver Walking Tours, who gives guided tours during the haunt season and around Halloween. And so we partner up with them, and we go on the tour and show people how to use their equipment, and we do little EVP sessions and stuff outside of each location. So in an attempt to kind of better the tour, I reached out to all of these locations that were on tour stops and said, hey, can we get in? And Dunning Benedict was one of the ones that responded and said, of course, come do it. And it was awesome. It's beautiful inside, all original. They have these like huge fireplaces and
so what haunt Dunning Benedict? What haunts
so
that
we don't
place?
really know. When we went in, it was really cool because the building owner was still there. They've had a couple weird claims of people who actually lived there who were tenants within the last 5 or 10 years messing around with some witchcraft in the basement, and they thought some things were kind of happening. And then one of the known haunts in that, or activity in that place, was in the basement specifically. There was a female who looked to be in her 20s who would stand at the end of the males' beds every night, and she would never talk to them. She had she had like really old school vintage dress on, and she would just stand there and stare at them, and they didn't really know who she was. She never said anything. Another really cool story from there was the owner had told us when they first moved in and started renovating, when he first got there, they found a railroad spike, and they didn't know where it came from. They threw it away, and it came back. And
wow.
So then he's like, well, what's going on? Maybe it's just construction, whatever. And so he personally threw it away again, and it showed up on the front doorstep again. So he decided, all right, I'm just going to keep this thing. So
did you have it displayed in the house?
He has it in. So the owner of the actual house itself now, he has a room up on the top floor, and he just kept it. So he said that they hear footsteps all the time. They get voices. It's just really random.
Well, I think I read it used to be a rest home too at one time. So there's probably been several elderly people that passed away in that house. That's probably one of the women that stand at the end of the bed.
Right.
It's probably
Right.
a rest home. Be cool.
There's a lot of
get
haunted rest homes. I've been to a few.
Did you get any EVPs or anything from that place, or?
We got a few. We got actually really weird sounds. Nothing that was audible with words or anything that we could make out, but a lot of really strange scratching noises. While we were there, we had pretty cool experience with. We were doing an EVP session in the kitchen area, and one of the magnets on the fridge just turned upside down, and nobody was standing by it. Nobody was doing anything. We were asking for whatever might be there to make contact, and
you saw it actually turn around.
Yeah, we saw it on the fridge turn.
Awesome.
It was really cool, and we never felt like anything there was malevolent or angry. No.
Yeah, you won't. It won't let you, that kind of stuff. It won't let you. That won't let you get that on film for sure.
Yeah, we had to kind of chalk it up as it's a cool experience. It was one of those places where it's just awesome energy and really cool interactions, but nothing really documented at all.
Well, David and I talk about cameras and stuff. We think infrared interferes with the spirits because very rarely do you actually ever catch anything on camera. But when you turn everything off, guess what happens?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's infrared. I heard that kind of from like Rob from Ghost Hunters told me that, but like, and that he got that from like the equipment guy, but like, I don't know if it's infrared. I just kind of like, I think they know that you have a camera on is the thing.
Yeah.
Because you could have REM pods there and everything's fine, but it's the camera that they do a lot of stuff when you're off camera. Like, I think they just know for some reason.
My team and I, we've been discussing that recently. It's, obviously we don't want to get away from documenting things, but sometimes you just have to go in and experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just need to go in and make contact, then that's what needs to be done. And we get so wrapped up in, having the best of the best equipment and all that stuff. And sometimes I think we need to take it back to the original. Just sit down.
I'm old school.
Yeah, she'll use like one piece of equipment. I use like 90. But I mean, it all, to tell you the truth, it all works. If I think something doesn't work, I'll get rid of it. You know what I mean? But there's also a lot of things that are new that you and I or Emily might get to be able to use that no one else has a possibility to use. So it's like up to us to try to see if they can affect an instrument or if they can affect random crap going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's up to us to do that, but like you don't like equipment that much. How much equipment do you use?
Me?
No, Nichole.
Oh, I was like, me.
You don't use a recorder and like a live listening recorder, and that's about it. Maybe a REM pod or a K2. What do you use, Nichole?
We've got a whole slew of stuff, from the DVR to the handheld stuff, with REM pods. I've actually been kind of taking it back, and we've been experimenting a lot with the Ouija board, and just kind of.
Emily's all about that.
I love it. We've had some really awesome experiences with it, and it's one that I handmade myself, so I know where it came from, and kind of set up my own protections with it, and we're always really safe. But it's been interesting. We've had names come out of it that relate back, to the location that we wouldn't have known before or didn't come up in our research. But we go all over, infrared stuff. We've got.
Good on you. That's the difference with Prism. The thing is, I'll never and I've always told everybody with this group, like you can't say no to anything. Sometimes like things seem like they're so scary not to do it, whatever. But listen, I never would have gotten into this unless I used a Ouija board when I was a kid. I'm telling you, I never it was one of the ways it's not the best way to find something. You get some crazy shit sometimes, but like, it's just like you can't say no to anything really because nobody knows what this is,
Right. And
sorry, Nichole.
The Ouija board was all they had, back in the day when paranormal research first started to come around before even the audio recorder. And it was a reliable source of communication. And now you got the Oculus, which is just a glorified Ouija board. It's just an electronic Ouija board, really. Right. And it's hit or miss. We definitely use our intuition when we're going into it. If we're in a place where we're feeling threatened or we're feeling like it's really negative, we won't use it. And anyone who's not open to it on the team, nobody's pressured to use it. So it's definitely something that we just experiment with just to see what we get. And we're safe about it. We close it down. We always got protections, whatever that might be for any member on the team. And so we really kind of use it, and we don't go to home investigations and use it or anything like that.
God forbid, right? Oh my God. Even like I have people like that want to use it, like Tim likes to use the portal a lot. I'm like, you can't use that at home. Like you can't be like spattering a PSP7 going like scaring people half to death. You know what I mean?
You know what? That is
I do it here at home. I do it here at home sometimes.
Yeah, but if you're at home, I'm saying it's some, a residential where you have like maybe like 2 kids and a mom and dad's not.
Kids will never be part of the investigation.
Like,
with me. I don't do the kids.
Go to hell. You can't just be. You can't be.
I don't. I'm working on a case right now that deals with a child too, but I have not talked to her yet, and I make sure children are not there when I do an investigation when it's a residential. I just don't do it. I grew up in a haunted house and things, and a lot of times children see things that other people can't see, and it's best for them not to be there when I'm there. At first, I'll interview them a little bit later if I get evidence of what's going on there, but they still do not participate.
What's your age, Emily? What's like the safe age for you with kids?
Safe age for me with kids?
Yeah.
Gosh, probably not till they're a teenager. Probably not till after middle school.
And see, like even actually, Emily is coming in a week or like 9 days, and we're gonna do 65 kids from Arvida, 4th grade, 5th grade kids.
I thought they were middle school kids.
They're middle school, so like
Okay,
actually you're gonna do everything in about 2 weeks.
Have children.
Listen, but with a lot of teachers, these kids have been watching Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. They know what a REM pod is. They know what a K2 meter is.
7th and 8th grade. They're 13 and 14-year-olds. They're not.
Oh, no. These kids are like, they're like 11, 12.
But this is a good opportunity to teach them the safe way to do it.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years. It's good. And I in Nebraska, we do things like that there too. I mean, we've always, it's fine with kids. It's like, I mean, I'm not a parent, so like I don't know like how to take care of a kid properly, probably. I have nieces and nephews. They sometimes Emily doesn't like that I introduce them to like my, haunted dolls and things like that. And, my niece knows how to use, she's 9, 10. She knows how to use an ovilus, and she's been 3. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I know people see things differently. How do you see things, Nichole? What's your safe age with kids?
Well, I think it depends on the situation. It depends on the kid. I mean, when I was a kid, I was experiencing those things, and I didn't know what to do with it. And it made me feel really lost. I would, stand in a room or be in a room or in an area and see something and have no idea what was going on. And so I feel like if I would have had that guidance,
right, and parents would be like, that's not happening, it's not real. Nichole, get that out of your head.
I've had those experiences, and my parents would tell me it's not real, and I'm thankful that they did. I'm thankful that they did. I think that my imagination would have gotten the best of me, and I would have made things way bigger than what they were.
So now, like us are teachers, we're teachers for these kids, and they're there with their teachers. They're there with their friends that they know. They're in a safe place. I mean, granted, last time I did it, one girl just like, but the minute I started doing the EVP session, I hear, and a girl started like bleeding down her mouth. Like it was like down her nose, down her face.
Talking about an event. I'm talking about something that's personal, it's residential. So when this child has to come home to these things every day and every night and every morning and can't sleep through the night because they keep seeing things and stuff, that's where I become protective. And that's where I don't let the kid be involved with any of the things that I do. Now, if it's an event like the Deering Estate or something like that and they're middle school kids, then I'm more open to that. And there's 65 of them.
So basically in a house, like in a bunch of houses that are residential where the kids are afraid, right? Tons of them, probably 100. And like the kids always end up sleeping in the parents' bed, and then the dad doesn't like that at all. So then the dad probably won't be home. The mom's home with the kids. Where sometimes they can send the kids to a friend's house or something that happens, but like sometimes the kids are there. We put them in another room. You don't really want to see the kids. Really should. I don't think the kids should be around when you're trying to like raise those spirits. Myself, I know I'm gonna get back to Nichole. I know I'm not like being the one interviewed, but personally, at some point those kids need to. They're the ones seeing Look, Kelly and I from Prism in Nebraska, we did a house that was in the middle of nowhere. It ended up correlating with a serial killer, Starkweather, right? Charles Starkweather and his girlfriend, who like killed a bunch of people, and they came down there, happened to be across the street. These little kids would see a little girl run up to a 13-year-old run up to the door and go, ah, with blood going, mama, 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 with blood going all over her face. Like, you have to help these kids. And the kids didn't want to like go outside by the creek. They didn't want to sleep in their room. The toys kept moving, and like,
that house needs the cleansing is what that needs.
We have to talk to the kids at some point and tell them, listen, this is happening and we're going to fix this. You know, we're going to find out. Basically, all those ghosts want to know is like, you have to give them, like, in my opinion, you have to give them a little bit of credit to the ghost and say, listen, we know you're here. Your mama's dead. This was really bad that this happened, but you have to move on. You got to do your thing and stop bothering these kids because you're scaring them half to death, and you're 13, 16 and dead. And these kids don't want to see that kind of thing, you know? And basically, once you tell the kids that, I think it ends up usually going away. I mean, and that went away.
We've had, you know, some instances where we'd have something going on, and if the child would, you know, leave the house, nothing would happen, and we'd never be able to resolve anything, and we could never get anything out of it. And it's not, you know, anything saying that, you know, we need the child to be there to get activity. That's not it, but just to resolve it, and, you know, whatever it might be, to move on. And also
the child seeing all that stuff, the parents aren't. Usually maybe the mom is, but seeing some like things drop or something, but the kids are actually seeing the apparitions, the full body apparitions. They're the only ones who can see it. How can you not talk to the kid who's going?
You talk to the kid, but they're just not involved in the investigation. There's no way I would allow.
No. That's a different thing. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
We're not talking about not talking to the kid. We're talking about, are they going to be there during the investigation? In my opinion, no, not going to do it. I see things too from time to time. What if I saw something that scared me to death? And if this kid sees me get scared and I'm the investigator, I'm the professional, what's he going to do or she going to do?
Right. When you're trying to fix the house, you try to fix the problem. That's a different thing.
We're going to switch subjects. Speaking of children, we're going to talk about two twin girls that was on The Shining, the Stanley Hotel. Yeah, we got to talk about the Stanley since you're in Denver. So how many times have you been there?
I don't want to disappoint you, but we have not been to the Stanley. So
the
Stanley is like, they have within the last year have just they have their open ghost tour, and, you know, the public can go and join, which some of my members have gone to and got a really cool experience. But they have just locked it down for independent research. You can't get in. If you try to approach it and say, hey, I'm from a team, we want to rent a room, they're like, no way, won't do it.
They got a new president over that a couple years ago. I think
he worked there for a little bit. Believe it or not.
Oh, well, they thought I worked there. Listen how weird this is. I've always been drawn to the Stanley Hotel since I was a young kid, before I even knew that Stephen King wrote The Shining there, okay? And I know the history of that place, F.O. and F.E. Stanley. I know the history backwards and forwards. And then when I was probably senior in high school, I figured out that The Shining, okay? So long story short, my mom and I are there. I've been there 4 or 5 times. I've investigated it twice. And my mom and I are there in the main foyer, or whatever, the entrance. And these women came up and said, yes, I'm looking for this room 2 something. And I was like, oh, that's up the stairs and stuff. I said, but I don't know exactly which way to go in the hallway. And they were like, oh, you don't work here? I was like, no, I don't work here. And they were like, well, you're on the video downstairs. So I go down. I said, what? So I go downstairs at this place, and they have this little coffee shop down there, and they have this like videos of the Stanleys putting up pictures of.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, she's gone. She's gone. And her hands are up. She's still got Nichole.
When I was 4, I was.
There you are. There you're back. Oh, yeah, she's gone totally.
Oh no.
No. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're good.
So you haven't? Are you going to go to the Stanley or no? You can't even get in there, right?
So we're hoping to go and just experience it kind of incognito on our own time, you know, type of thing. And just, I want to do their ghost tour because I've heard that their ghost tour rocks. So we'll go on that, and then, you know, just kind of go from there. Rent a room and see if we can get anything in the room that night. So
yeah,
it's on the bucket list.
What happened?
There she is. There you're back. Oh no, and it stopped again.
Oh no.
Now, hold on.
And Nicole's gone.
Yeah, Nicole's gone. I'm gonna wait till she gets logged back on. Talking about the Stanley. Look what happens.
And I was talking to her still about it, but then you left, and then now she's gone. Uh-oh.
What is going on?
I don't know. All of a sudden, everything got bad. Is your internet fine?
Hello?
Bad ending. We still on or no? Emily? Am I the only one?
I'm in the show, I think, but I don't see anyone else.
You see me now? I don't know what happened. It kicked me off, then kicked off, and then kicked David off. So hopefully he'll come back on here in a second. And then I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Okay.
I can see you.
Okay. That's never happened before. I'm so sorry, everybody. But it's weird. I was talking about the Stanley, and it clicked off. But I'll tell you this. Oh, here comes David. Hold on. He's loading up here.
The Stanley does not want us there.
The Stanley.
It does not want Emily there.
No.
You never go there. You should stay away from that place. It's evil.
No.
Winds in the corridor that are evil, and a man running around that's evil with an axe.
We're gonna go over for a little bit since that happened, but just for about 5 minutes or so. But really fast though. I was there previously, and I saw my friends coming in the front door, and I remember cameras being there, and I was waving. Okay, now this is creepy because you know The Shining, where he comes in and he's the keeper of the place at the end. All this. Well, with my mom and I go downstairs in this basement where the donuts and stuff are, and we're sitting there watching the Stanley Hotel video, and there I am close to the end, and I'm on that staircase, and they got me waving. Now, how creepy is that? Creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Is that like that chute? Is there like a chute down there? That little chute where they threw like bodies, they said, or something? Is that what that was?
No, there's a tunnel. Am I thinking about someplace else?
I've never been.
No, that's the Waverly, the death tunnel.
Oh, Waverly. I've never been there either. I need to go though.
They have the tunnel down there in the basement too, where it like caved in and killed some workers and stuff. But I crawled up in that tunnel about 50 feet back, and I hope nobody's watching this.
Oh, it's like a little tiny tunnel. Yeah, I remember that from the live thing.
Yeah.
They were like walking.
Rob Murch was just from Denver. He was doing the Ouija boards down there in that basement area, and my mom was there, and she was all about it. But I'm not into that. So while they were all getting really involved with all these Ouija boards, I snuck and I crawled up, and nobody even knew I was gone. I crawled up in there and I came back out. But anyway, I love the Stanley. I feel like it's home when I was there. It was so weird. And I cried. When I got in the parking lot of that place for the first time, I cried. I was like, really? People are going to think I'm weird. But
she cries all the time, Nichole.
I got F.O. Stanley. Actually, I'll send you the picture of this afterwards. I got F.O. Stanley on camera in the billiard room, and I took the picture back 3 days later because I was there doing crude oil. I was like, these people have to see this. It was on display there for a while. I don't know if it still is now or not, since they got a new president dude that doesn't like the paranormal. But I got it, and we try to debunk that thing.
Presidents come and they go. Don't worry.
We could not debunk it. And the little tour guide too that was there, he remembered me because my accent and stuff, and we talked a lot. And when he saw the picture, he got goosebumps. And then when they put the F.O. Stanley out there, the monument of him, out front there by the maze that they made, the picture actually looks like him that's out there on the monument.
That's weird.
Yeah. I've only caught 3 things my whole life on camera. And when I was out there in the billiard room, I was taking pictures of in the mirrors, and I kept just going saying, F.O. Stanley, I feel like this is my home. I just want to see you. Please let me see you. And got a picture of it.
That's awesome.
So,
you get in there somehow.
Nichole,
we're gonna figure it out.
What's your favorite recorder?
You know what?
EVP?
I'm all about like favorite recorder in general.
Yeah. What do you get the most EVPs on? What do you
I
use?
get the most. My most best EVPs is just from a cheap Olympus recorder.
It's her favorite. She loves which one?
It's the. Well, I think I have it right here. Hold on. Actually, and I've caught some
W series. Oh, just kidding. Who knows that recorder?
No, it's this one, the VN.
Oh, what is it?
I don't have that one.
It's the VN 701.
Oh, the VN series, the VN 701. I've got a VN 500 or so, I think I've got a couple VNs. They do well.
I like it. I've got it just on like meeting, and it's done awesome. I've got some really cool stuff. I've actually tested it out and put a couple recorders next to each other, just some cheaper ones, and we actually had one next to like a Vastcam and stuff, and this one would capture things and other ones wouldn't. So.
Yeah, the old Olympus are really good. Emily can vouch for that for sure. She loves them.
Oh, my Olympus WS400. I have 7. Well, no, I keep saying I have 5 of them. I gave David one that he never uses. So when I come to Miami, I'm getting it back.
That's right.
I'm a Panasonic DR60 guy.
I get it. Listen, I bought them back almost 10 years ago. Maybe
you can't have it back, by the way. I gave her a pink one. Was it Valentine's last year? A pink one.
They were $60 to $70 back over 10 years ago. Now they're like $400 to $500 now a piece.
Oh, you can find them less, though. You can find them less.
I mean, it's crazy that they just get so expensive now. I mean, this Olympus, I mean, it's made for like meetings and schoolwork and stuff. And when I bought it, I think I paid like $32 for it, and now they're at close to $100. It's like, oh, come on.
At least you got it. That's good.
We found a site. Listen to this. The Panasonic RDR60, DRRR60, whatever you call it. I'm not a fan of it, but that's David's go-to. We found a site, and we're not going to tell anybody. Right, David?
Yeah, but
found a Panasonic RDR60 for sale, and it sold. And it sold the day before I saw it.
It was like one auction site, but like we didn't get it. If we would have seen it the day before, it would have. Those things are definitely, they're like $2,000 to $3,000 now, $2,500 to $3,000, and they're worth to me, they're worth their weight in gold. I've done a lot of tests with them. I know that they work well. They're not the best recordings in the world, but if you want to know a place is haunted, you just go in with that thing and you start recording. You just find out instantly if it's haunted or not. But it's 8-bit. Sounds like horrible. Sounds awful. But you'll still get kids. You'll get women. You can tell the difference between a man, woman, child. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's good when you get one of the best recorders is a GoPro, like a GoPro Hero 3. I've gotten so many voices
my 5.
Hero 3. Well, I don't have a 5, so I've never gotten the voices on a 5, but I can tell you, I can vouch for the 3.
The circus house.
Those things get so many high, like class A EVPs, like because it's like a high bit recorder, really good voice. Clarity is really awesome, but it doesn't get it like the DR60 does. Or like the Olympus does, probably. You can't just go in there.
You know about the GoPro 5 because we did the circus house with that, and look at all the EVPs I got off the GoPro 5 from the circus house. So there was a lot there, but Nichole, I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. You can come on anytime you want to. It was super fun.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, it goes by really fast. 1 hour does anyway.
It does.
And I'm sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know what that was.